Hey, what's up, you guys? So, I am doing two videos about the Hush movie. This is the spoiler-free version. So, if you want to hear my thoughts and feelings about what I loved and what I hated and what I was impressed by and what I was disappointed with the Hush movie, well, you want to check out the spoiler-filled review, which is somewhere on the channel. But now, let's talk about Hush. Okay, so, quick step back. In 2009, I received a copy of Hush. So, that was Volume 1, Volume 2, and it was a birthday present to me at the time. I can't remember how old I was at the time, so old enough. Anyway, I read this thing in like one sitting and it completely blew my mind. I mean, Jeph Loeb, Jim Lee, this is the kind of stuff that magic is made of. 12 issues of sheer awesomeness that take us through the best of what the Dark Knight Batman is all about. Now, the Hush movie does a lot of that. So what it does is it pretty much adapts the storyline, but sort of like transmutes it into the current DC animated universe. So there is that continuity. So they've taken the best plots they've taken the best plot points from that storyline and brought it into the current DC I was gonna say DC cinematic universe, into the DC animated universe as we know it. So there are obviously some things that we don't see in the movie. Now, while for the most part that doesn't really take away much from it, there were a couple of scenes where I was like, well, you know what, if they had just stuck to the comic book, that would have been better. But there were so many more scenes that actually made a lot more sense. So the story takes us through, just the premise is basically that Batman sort of gets into a relationship of sorts with Catwoman. And while that whole lovers thing is like sort of unfolding, we sort of get exposed to a new villain, Hush, and this villain basically brings out the worst that Batman has in terms of his villains to the fore, and they have this conspiracy and Batman has to, like get around it, so yeah, on the whole, I really enjoyed it. The animation, spot on, like I said, in the style of that DC animated universe. As a Batman fan, like Jason O'Mara, he's the guy who voices Batman. He's cool and all of that, but like he's not Kevin Conroy. So I would have loved if they brought Kevin Conroy back. There's a Joker scene I would love if Mark Hamill did that. But you know what? At the end of the day, this is a new dawn, a new day. So on the whole, I would have to say that everything was like pretty kick-ass awesome. There were a few things about the story that I was like, no man, guys, like what are we doing over here? But on the whole, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Did it do justice to what I was expecting for Batman? Hush, well, I waited like 10 years to see this adapted, and a lot of it played out exactly as I imagined it in my head, and on the whole, I'm pretty happy with it. Though there were a couple of things that I would have loved if they did differently, which brings me back to the voice acting. There were a couple of lines, there are a couple of lines in the story that like really, I don't know, like in your head, you imagine it a certain way, and it just didn't land the way I would have wanted it to. Not that it was bad, or anything of the sort, but I think this is the problem with a storyline such as this. You build it up to such a point in your head that when you finally, like see it in real life, then it's kind of like, come on, guys, what are we doing here? But on the whole, again, I know I'm probably going to sound like I am contradicting myself. As a movie to watch, it's lots of fun. It keeps you going. There were some plot twists and there were some changes to some of the characters, in the story and what they did and how it played out. And I'm really glad with how it turned out. There are some twists in the story that I did not see coming. So even though I must have read this book about like 500 times over the last 10 years, there were really some things that just like got me like, woo, I did not see that coming. Should you watch it? Oh hell yes, you should. Should you do it immediately? Of course yes. And what should you do after that? Well, come back to this channel, have a look at my spoiler-full review where I am actually going to go into like the nitty-gritties of it, things I like, things I don't like, but like in much more detail. And yeah, let me know in the comments what your first thoughts were. Please no spoilers down there. And if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe, follow, do all of that stuff, and I'll chat to you guys soon. Bye. Well, hello there, how are you doing? So, thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. As long as you're around here, please subscribe. That would help me out a lot. Now, let me help you out a lot. I have a series of giveaways going on all the time. So, be sure to check out the other playlist here and some of the other great content. I'll chat to you soon.